Hey everyone, today we are looking at Distant Call Hero Dungeon. This is one of those dungeons that you either get a group that can just blast past the mechanics or you tend to die a lot. So this was a rare opportunity when we actually had a group that knew the mechanics and did the mechanics, and so I was super excited to be able to record this for you guys. As far as tanking goes, you can switch tanks for this. There is a switch tank mechanic. However, I often don't see people switching, so I don't think it's really that necessary for most of the tanks, but just keep an eye on that in case you need to do so. Okay, up first is a share damage mechanic, and it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure that the share damage mechanic here comes one after the other, and you're not supposed to do both of them. You either pick one or the other to share damage for. In the background, there's a directional AoE that you can see in just a second here that you should be able to avoid pretty easily. And just off to the side, I could see another share damage mechanic during this. So the next thing is the mist crystals. Now, if you go through and you run around and locate the mist crystals, if you click on the mist crystal, you can remove it. There are 3 of them, so you just have to find them and destroy them. I'm splicing in a video of when I was doing the mist crystal, so you know what to look for. See how it's a darker crystal, and you just click on it to activate it. Up next is the dark tentacle attack, and so for that you want to look in these circles, empty circles that are around the outside here, and you're going to look for the tentacles. So you can see one here, and there sometimes is a second one that is up in another circle, so just keep an eye out for if there's multiple tentacles. I think maybe later on in the fight is when there's usually a second tentacle. Okay, the next message is get ready to disperse fear, and this one I had a hard time with because I never quite saw it right. Just move back if you've got the circle, and then afterwards there's this other circle in the middle that you have to run into, and everybody gather together in the circle, and it kind of that way you can avoid getting hit with this. Afterwards is this tentacle hitting the ground mechanic. That was the first time I'd ever seen it, honestly. Usually that's always skipped. You can see the red message, or the message there with the for the tanks, and also for share damage. Remember, once the share damage is, if you share damage the first time, don't share damage a second time. There's 2 in a row, so do one and then the other. Don't share damage for both. Okay, up next we're going to have another round of locating the mist crystals. And again, there's 3 mist crystals, and just go find them and make sure to activate them. Now, we got this stand on the crack to avoid the AoE in the raid, and what it is it's those purplish spires. You can see one in the background there, and you have to stand on it to prevent the AoE damage to the raid. If you get off of it, the spire will come right back, so you have to stay on it until it disappears. Okay, so up here we have another dark tentacle has appeared, and so go ahead and find the second dark tentacle. I think there's 2 of them at this point. Just look for the circle with it in it. And for here, it's on the other side of me, so you just have to run and go ahead and DPS the dark tentacle. Again, we have Disperse Fear is next, so you'll have one person with a circle around them. They have to move to the back to stay away from everybody else, and then everyone else go into this yellow circle, or this circle here, so that you can not get hit by the AoE. Okay, I'm going to quickly go through the rest of this fight. We just have some DPS, followed by some share damages, and then there's the share damage, and then another locate the mist crystal, and stand on the crack to avoid the AoE. Find the purple thing. Here I don't see it, so maybe somebody else has got it at this point. And then the dark tentacles, we're going to break another round of dark tentacles, and followed by, there's the second one with the second dark tentacle. And then we're going to go ahead and get ready to dispense sphere again, and you see the person with the circle moving all the way to the back, and another gather inside the circle. This is followed by another one of the tentacle smashes, and then more share damage, and then we DPS the boss down until he's dead. And this was my first clear actually doing the real mechanics and not just skipping all of the mechanics. So I was pretty excited about this one. So hopefully you found this helpful, and we will see you next time in World of Kings.